People are afraid, they are petrified. It have them locked up in a them house, them don't want to go outside. All of the clubs and pubs locked down, I can't even dance to my champion sound, but I stay strong. Ready for self-isolation, Sean. Now we under attack, drones from out of space. So if you're going out, put gloves on, put a mask over your face. Me all I wrap up my dreadlocks and bring my cleansing cream with me. Maintain a good personal hygiene and stay 3 meters away from me. So I say go straight out the door. Coronavirus, you're not welcome anymore. Were you the one who tried to make me lay down and die? You think I'd grumble? You think I'd lay down and cry? I will survive. I will survive. Just as long as I know how to live, I know I'll stay alive. Clean out your house good, disinfect and sterilize. I've got my Silk Bang, Domestos and my P-Rum by my side. Hope and pray the NHS don't fall apart. Pick up the doctors and the nurses, we keep them in our thoughts. All those hours that them working just to keep people alive. Maximum respect due to all of you. My heart is full of pride. Now you see me say respect you. I'm not that selfish person in that supermarket queue. So if you feel like pushing past vulnerable people, and I see all that anger that's inside, you don't want to upset me. So I say go straight out the door. Coronavirus, you're not welcome anymore. Were you the one who tried to hurt me with your lies? You think I'd grumble? You think I'd lay down and cry? Oh no, not I will survive. Yeah, as long as I know how to live, I know I will survive. People, clean out your house good, disinfect and sterilize. I've got my Silk Bang, Domestos and my P-Rum by my side. So if just like me, you have lost good friends, and you don't know if it's corona or government and murder them. Hello? One thing I know, just make sure you not end up in a hospital. Me not go make no doctor joke me. Me not take no vaccination. So I say go straight out the door. Coronavirus, you're not welcome anymore. People, clean out your house good, disinfect and sterilize. I've got my Silk Bang, Domestos and my P-Rum by my side. Now they say that domestic abuse is on the increase because of all them dirty liars and them bedroom cheats. Through lockdown, them can't sneak out, and their lover is all alone. So they keep texting, sending messages to your mobile phone. Your partner find out, and them get vexed. Them sip your naked picture, worse than that. Them read them intimate text. Oh, but just like Shaggy, you tell them no, it wasn't me. No, you see all this corona causing pure misery. So she say go sleep on the floor. As far as she's concerned, you're not gonna get her zoom anymore. She treat you good, she treat you like a king and a man. And just because you couldn't keep your little something in your pants, so I say go straight out the door. Coronavirus, you're not welcome anymore. Were you the one who tried to make me lay down and die? You think I'd crumble? You think I'd lay down and die? No, to all those shopkeepers who are going to thief. What was £1.99 is £3.45 this week. Oh, now let me send out a little warning to all of them. I will send for all my friends, thief out your things and share with them. So I say go straight out the door. Coronavirus, you're not welcome anymore. Clean out your house good, disinfect and sterilize. I've got my Silk Bang, Domestos and my P-Rum by my side. I will survive. I will survive. Yeah, as long as I know how to live, I know I'll stay alive. Hey, clean clean out your house good, disinfect and sterilize. I got my silicone, domestics and my beer on by my side, so I say go.
This is a Friendly Fire production.
Yes, good night, my Facebook family, YouTubers and family and friends. Yeah, welcome to another episode of My Perspective. I'm going away where I'm wearing this hat tonight, but yeah, for you to just change up a little and wear something different, you know. Maybe a little craziness in it, but it's all good. I just want to say, you know, another week, another dollar, another day, another dollar. Hope that you guys have been having a wonderful week so far. You know, there's a lot of things happening in this world we can't talk about, you know. Make sure you leave your comments so we can answer some of the questions, our conversation, and what on your mind. You know, and I'm going to have a night where we're going to ask my viewers to give me a topic to discuss of their choice, and I will respond back and give my perspective. You know, after hear my viewers, because my viewers, I always have some perspective on things, boy, you know, and it's good to have we have listeners or committed viewers who come on and say their thoughts and give you their perspective on things, which is good. I have no problem with that. No problem at all. But welcome to My Perspective tonight, and you know I got something that some news I'm going to touch on. First and foremost, I'm going to talk about the international aspect. I don't know we're going to talk about sports because the World Championship is going well. In terms of athletes, let's talk about one of the race, the 100-meter final between the women 100-meter final. What was a beautiful race and was by Sha'Carri of the USA. But I'll talk about it later on down the road. But first thing I want to talk about, and just went on CNN. I saw today that way they said Wagner chief, that gentleman there who brought his tanks and soldiers into Russia uninvited. He made a city perish in a plane crash. You know, all now all these propaganda and things will come out now say, you know, Putin was the one who caused the plane crash and all those things. Because based on reports that this leader, was on the plane, and he was the one who had the rebel group and all that. He was on the plane and all that, and that the plane crashed, and he was a part of it. So his army that he created and built now is without a leader, and it's very unfortunate, you know. But it's what it is. He went in Russia and invaded Russia, one town of Russia. He was being given high five and big up self for the people in that village, and then after Putin get mad and start quarrel and say that he take action, he must take his army out of Russia. But now he has perished in a crash. Very unfortunate, you know. He has his own thing. Next topic I want to talk about is seeing here Giuliani. You know that this week President Trump and his 18 cronies or 17 cronies will have to are indicted from last week. So they have this week to all surrender and get their fingerprints and mug shots and all those things. According to reports, there were no exception for Donald Trump, like other states didn't allow him to, since he was a former president. But Georgia is very strict, so you have to check his fingerprint, get his mug shot taken, and then they can give a bond of 250,000 or 100,000, something like that, so he can be released. Psychic Giuliani, according to reports, has surrendered today. He's doubling down, and that his actions with January 6th were legitimate, and there's no cause for him to be charged or be indicted. And another person who were indicted will be also be surrendering this week. You know, Georgia come like them tough. Georgia come like them really tough. They no play at Georgia. So he did, you know, they're out there ready to rumble. Prosecution, District Attorney is ready to rumble, and she's looking at it early next year, March or late to start. I don't know if the judge will grant her that, but she seems like she's ready to go. The defense now will have to provide alternative strategy of trying to, you know, I don't know what the strategy was. One strategy mentioned earlier was that they're going to ask that the charges go to the federal court to deal with, which I doubt it will happen. I doubt that they're going to say we'll see the state. But that was a couple of items I saw in the news, which was very disturbing. But Giuliani second is going to be. I know for sure he's going to try to defend, and he's a retired lawyer. I think he's disbarred too from practice law, and I hear that he's Giuliani having some financial troubles, a lot of financial troubles and all that. And on a note, I see where the people in Maui, why with the president touchdown, and it's just so sad that wildfire can burn actually a town. And apart from burning town and the loss of lives, because over 100 persons who lost their life, president still counting. FEMA is in there, and they have using dogs to go through the rubbles and searching through by each house by house and block by block. Every inches of that town got burned by a wildfire. But it goes to question, the foundation of these houses must be questioned. The type of material that are being used to build these out, because mostly it's quite clear if wildfire can wipe out the entire community, the material that is used clearly is not fireproof and is not able to prevent massive burning of houses. And when I say that, I mean, for example, in Jamaica, it's concrete block is the foundation from. Around the house is concrete block. And then other amenities are added to the roof or whatever inside the house and all that. And it's just strange and weird where you see all these houses, yes, all these houses, and wildfire that create havoc on people's lives and destruction. They're burnt to the ground. You don't see even no form of infrastructure, basic foundation structure, which is the walls. I don't know why, in America, and to be honest, these houses cost, they're not cheap. One of those could have cost maybe 500,000 to 300,000. Yes, for those houses in Maui, and they're burned to ashes now. And I'm questioning, trying to understand why does America use inferior material, especially for the foundation of the house, which is wood most that they use to build these houses. Partially, if you get a house with block or what, maybe you're going to say is the weather. I understand the weather, but there are ways around getting to deal with the weather and all that. And there must be some other way they can look at the development of the house. Because most of the houses are built with wood. Partially, half of it maybe the basement is built and with concrete. But that's the thing I got to look at and try to do research on why most of the houses in the USA are built with mostly wood, with foundation from base to top. And that kind of, because when fire sets in, it's like every time everything is wiped out. We must pray for people of Maui in Hawaii. Hope that, as I said, it's tough loss of lives is involved. Families are hurting right now. And if we can support, go online, check out where I know this Red Cross. I know they will be involved in helping to assist these people relocate to get them when there's basic items, food, shelter, and clothing. And I know that, so I know that there are more funds out there. But make sure you do your research before you making a contribution. Whether you're in Jamaica, here in the US, all over the world, where you got to try to give back something. Yes, to help these people more. Every dollar count. Every dollar count. Doesn't make sense. Every dollar count. Yes, every dollar count, my people. And that's what's the reality behind it, and those are things that kind of I've been for the past week or more. I'm not really talking about this, but the devastation for one town. it's just unbelievable. And I would never wish that in no other country or no other town to be wiped out like that. And that's how I feel about it. Making news was this. I think it's what I show which country it was where some kids were being transported by a cable car, and one of the cable cars main wire broke, so the cable car was left hundreds of feet in the air till to one side. The kids were inside and hanging over, and it took 13 hours to rescue those kids. They had to sling another line, a cable line, beside the same cable car, and then sending rescuers for the kids to bring them in. I think there was one incident where the helicopter saved one kid, but that kid was dangling from the cable car, and they had to do emergency evacuation by saving that kid. I think it was in India that incident took place. I must confirm on that. But those are, we see so many things happening around the world, and we have to understand that when we are alive, we wake up this morning and we are not in no we are alive and we can breathe. It's in Pakistan, country Pakistan, sorry. But India, Pakistan was where the cable car that broke, and all that. So the kids were saying they were on their way to school. It was in the canyon. It was in a rural, deep area of Pakistan, where the kids had to use cable car to go to school. And it goes to show, to be honest, I'm not a fan of these cable cars, to be honest. In New York here, we have cable cars that transport to an island here down in Manhattan. Because Roosevelt Island is a cable car. I think it's a big cable car, and every people going across it. It's a small island, but a small community itself. But they have to use cable cars. I don't think no bus cars go across, but maybe you use boats. So ferries to go across too. So those are the means of chance of cable cars and all that. But my thing is these cable cars, they're machines. They're susceptible to be broken down. Technical issues comes up and all that. So, when you go on those, you have to go with faith. I hope that you reach across. See, we use the ferry boats, wherever, you have to be mindful of, you have to put them life vest and all, and make sure you can come across safely. So my thing is this: I'm happy that the kids were survived and they were okay, and that issue has been resolved. I hope that the Pakistan government will do the investigation and try and improve that cable car infrastructure. So that this incident happened when the kids in the cable car going to school don't happen again. I mean, you can put better things in place. But let's wait and see what the Pakistan government will say. Other things I want to talk about. I mean, there's so many things I am really mindful about and what happened. It's just that when you see a lot of news going around and all that, you want to ask yourself, what's going on in God's world? People have they know God, some people will say they're God and all that. But my thing is this: we have to try our best as human beings to try to protect our own people, our family first and foremost, and that is important to me. Even if you're, I think some people live a life of carefree. I said, I'm almost dead, so what happened? And I believe some of these things that happen can be prevented, to be honest. And it boils down to these incidents. But my thing is this: as people, we gotta be mindful, be grateful, and be our brother's keeper. And that's my say. We got to be our brother's keeper. Another news, I want to talk about this incident involving this teenager in Philadelphia. And we saw the video last night. This video last night where this teenager was sitting in his car. Yeah, the teenager was sitting in his car, and police drove up, came out of the car, came around his driver's side. Go after had his gun in his hand, and he shot the kid. Maybe 3-4 shots were shot through the window off the driver's side, killing this kid. Yeah, he's 27-year-old. His name is for Eddie Irizarry. It seems like he's Spanish or whatever he is. Eddie Irizarry. Yeah, he was killed. The body camera and the what do you call it, the home video camera, those one in the doorbell, saw the action. There was no form of scuffle. There was no form of any weapon found on Eddie. No weapon found on Eddie. And this policeman decided to come on his car with his gun in his hand, go on the driver's side, and shoot this defenseless kid. And then what more happened, as I call it, when police are on the front, when police, what they did was tell a lie. They reported a total different incident about the one that said he had a gun or you have a knife. No, they said that, let me put it correctly. They said that he came over with a knife and attacked the police officer. Yeah. They said that Eddie, 26, came out with a knife or machete and attacked the officer. Which was a lie, because the doorbell camera picked up the entire incident. Now, according to the commissioner in Philadelphia, he said that officer will be fired. Now, they're going to be, and in this situation, their family will file a lawsuit against the city for wrongful death. Oh, my thing is, yes, wrongful death, yes. But what this highlights, and importantly, what this highlights is the whole police in training. And, the first thing I asked the question, why did the officer come with his gun in his hand? There was no threat to his life. He didn't chase him and pick up his composite. He had no threat to you, officer. He wasn't running from you, officer. He didn't have a gun pointed at you, officer. Neither any other form of weapon against you, officer. He was sitting in his car. And this officer decided to take his life. Yes, decided to take his life by shooting him through the driver's window. And that is Eddie's life. Another police shooting. And, coming to base of the article here, the officer is not willing to cooperate. I mean, because they caught him, he's telling lying. And the mayor, the Philadelphia mayor, Mr. Jim Kennedy, has decided not to comment at this time. And so the cycle of police excessive force is highlighted in this case. And the question to be asked is now, at what point will these officers go back into retraining? Because it's quite obvious they still have a trigger. The freedom friend has the gun, they have the power, and they can kill people and shoot with a black, Hispanic, white, whoever, without any consequences. And it just reminds me of an incident that they were this black trailer. He was driving trailer, he was being chased, he kept running from the police. The police he went to stop. Police gun drawn, right? Police gun drawn. You come on holding up hands. And yet still, this after with a dog One officer said, don't send the dog on the man, because he's no defenseless. His hands up, he's a black man, his hands up in the air. But the officer with the dog decided to let the dog on the man, the defenseless man. No, I'm going to tell you straight up. I'm going to keep it real. If that dog attack me, I want to make sure that dog will die. They might want to shoot me. Because me now make no dog jump on me and bite me up. No. Because when I done with that dog will attack no more body after that. If he's still alive. But it goes to show the total arrogance of the police force. And the power that is exonerated that is given to them. And they feel they can say or do anything and not being caught. But thank God with that camera. Yeah. Thank God, because I know for sure that if there was not that doorbell camera to catch the incident, I know it will be, right? It will be the family word against the police word. Because guess what they always say? Dead man tell no tales. And that's just the reality behind it. And I'm happy for camera and I'm happy for those things that are there to see these things. And when you can see that this officer murdered an innocent man called Eddie without justified cause, then it goes to show that the police force still has a biasness against people. And that's just the reality, black or white. And I think more like black people and brown people, yeah? All right? And that's what it is. Now, that's basically it for international. I just wanted to move on. Oh, before I forget, tonight there is the big debate. Yep. The first GOP debate. And Donald Trump has decided not to be a part of that debate. And to give my perspective, yes, the debate is good. We shall see the GOP, them check out Fox 5. I think it's Fox Star, I'm not sure. That's their favorite station, I'm not sure who, And you can look at the candidates for the GOP candidates. But being after Donald Trump, and he decided to skip this debate. And the simple fact of the reason is that he has a large poll lead. And the question we must ask, serious question, with Donald Trump being nominee for GOP, it's quite obvious with that sort of lead, he's going to be the nominee again for GOP. The question begs to ask, will all these 4 indictment and cases will have some effect on his polling, his nomination? From my perspective, yes, it will have some effect on him. If in the case of him before the election and get found guilty, he's going to do some time. So therefore, he becomes disqualified. The question is, can he run if he's found guilty? That's another question, because the law now will be thrown into disrepute, because this man is the nominee for the GOP. Will he be able to still run for election president of the USA? Those are questions that need to be answered. But I'm suspecting if he's found guilty, he will have to give up his dream of becoming the president again of the United States. But getting back to GOP, it's quite clear he has that control over the party. Yes. His supporters, he has strong support. Great. He has some supporters, you could say you have 78 million strong supporting Donald Trump. And so I'm expecting, although this debate, I am going to see if these debates, and I suspect he will miss more other debates in the GOP party. And I'm going to see if the poll numbers are going to start affecting his absence from these polls. So stay tuned. I hope you will join and watch the GOP debate tonight. Fatso, my friend Fatso in New Jersey. Yeah, my dog Christy's there. He'll be there and other people, Mike Pence and all people. I'll go to listen to these debates and see what they're coming, what they're going to promise is, what changes they're going to bring. Because with America right now, where it's divided, it's polarized, there's division, there's still a racism. I don't know. The unity of the country is going to depend on the leader of the country itself. So let's wait and see if Biden is reelected. Will he be reelected? They keep referring to his age. Age is a big thing. So let's wait and see. I'll keep it real from there. So that's it on the international news. I hope I've enlightened you as much about what's going on around the world. So I'll recap quickly. Wagner chief, the man in Russia they have in the Second Army, who invaded that town. According to report, he was on a flight that was crashed. And I'm sure the propaganda will start supporting the crash and all that. I don't know. And then there's new about Giuliani. He reported him today. 100,000 or 200,000 bond, whatever. He's complaining that he still have it. So those are headlines of international news. I just want to switch over. His time is what now? 8:52. Wow. Time fly. Hey. Time fly, brothers. Just want to move over to Jamaica. I see I'm going to use the Jamaica Observer as my guide. I see some interesting articles and some interesting news in Jamaica. I saw something on Brogad's social media account on Facebook where Ian Favor William were in New York recently at a gala in the diaspora. These galas and these people go to the galas from all over in New York, and they went it's an independent 61st gala the General Council had. It was $100 per person. I think that was it. That thing, and the Prime Minister was there and all that. So, and then he had a conference after to where he met with people diaspora. But yeah, it's good. The Prime Minister could come up and he had met with people when they asked what. From my perspective, it's good to have these functions and hear from the people in diaspora. And I heard that it was a success. I'm happy that it was a success. Black Tie Affair it was. I hear the Prime Minister was impressed by all the people in that because he was saying about the diaspora has so much information about what's happening back home. The Prime Minister got understand that the social media, the print media, and online have so much information, and it's unbelievable. A lot of information we receive here in diaspora. Wherever in the world you can get information online and on social media, especially Facebook. Because Jamaican people love Facebook, and Instagram. And love show off them body, and love the dance, the sound and partying, and Jamaicans. We love the glamour. Yeah, man. Jamaican people in general love the glamour thing and love Facebook and always have a party with the families and show friends and all that. All that thing. Information is there. So, if you don't want to touch in Jamaica, you're a business. If you are really social media novice, you're a problem that. Get to the program. People that even get people that know what's going on in Jamaica. Because they don't have a phone. They don't know more laptop or computer, iPad, whatever. They're nothing that I'm on whole antiquated world. So you get one phone that lasts 15, 20 years. And the phone system. Yeah, I mean, I'm not laughing at them person. I'm not saying that's their life. They choose not to be being involved as much, updated as much as possible with what's going on around them. Because the world is changing rapidly, information is out there rapidly. And that's the scary part of things that, for me personally, I have to be on top of it, especially with kids. I mean, you have with kids, Facebook and YouTube and family. You have to be on top, because if you don't be on top of what they're seeing and what they're watching, trust me, some things slip through the crack. Yeah, man, some things slip through the crack. And they realize how quick their mind is warped. And they're using words of indignity in their language. You know, and then when they reach the age, we start using words. And that's just the reality of the situation. So, you know, we have to be mindful that the world of social media, everything we do to make everybody know. Who this, Sister Donna this, Gully Bop that. Oh, we talk about Gully Bop. The way he started again, where that this pastor from a church to help him. And his wife gone. And I must say, no, I'm married to her. And all. And he said, come on, our wife mad then. And all them women them gone left him. They was like, what? 1.5 of you? I got the Bop thing. Hey, his sensation was very short and spicy. But you go the Bop thing, you know, the role of arrogance and ignorance, you know, has got the better of him personally. So he has some liver kidney issues right now. You can help. You know, so you wouldn't sit down with him, can raise some money. Financially, he's broke. Because if a pastor I try to help him and all them things. He want food, clothes, and shelter. The man is all alone in the world. Yeah, he was all alone in the world. Unfortunately, he was coming from the days that he was a crackhead, a coke, he was having drugs, but he changed him to DJ, lost managers, producers, music, and all that. Because he didn't have the ignorance, and arrogance, just took everything away from him. It's very unfortunate. But I hope that people will reach out to him when the health issue and give some help financial so he can keep himself away from the job. But tell the honest truth, you know, when these things with people go back into a submission mode of negative thoughts and drugs life and all that. And I hope that Gully Bop will recover. But you know, we have to take Gully Bop lessons and talk about these things. Anyway, going back to Jamaica. Yeah, went back to Jamaica. Talking about Jamaica. See where I miss education. Talking about they will be soon coming out with a uniform policy. And in her discussion, she's talking about that, you know, where he's saying that kids who wear locks should not be wearing no more Tams to school. And this makes sense, you know, from my days when man a Rasta, man go wear them Tam. When my college, when any Rasta come to school, but I want them Tam, I'm going to wear them locks loose. And she's saying that we got to respect the religious rights of people like the Rastas if they feel that they should be wearing their locks free. That means them reading at school, well, yeah, they should be wearing their locks free. And we see it in adulthood. When people in adulthood and them have them locks, they're not really Rasta, but them have locks. You know, they wear them locks loose. Go to work, place of anywhere. And if they're, especially here in the US, if they are discriminated against, that's a lawsuit against the company. That manager needs to be fired. That's the level of discrimination against a man here. So what Miss Favor Williams saying that, listen, respect a man culture, them tell them for wear them locks loosely out of them, but them Tam, allow them. If we ask them to groom and if they come grooming, really what she said that we have to allow people to be what they are. If they're a Rasta, may they wear the Rasta loose because they're religion. If they're balling, may they wear them balling freely. The dictatorship are dictating to how people should dress or wear what they should do. In certain it needs to be disbanded, abandoned straight. And I like that thing what she said. The kids who culture who say they can wear their locks is free, let them wear it based on their religion. And I agree with that. I hope that principals will be will follow suit in making sure kids who are Rastas who say that they don't have to wear the locks free, they can do it freely without being discriminated against each other, be discriminated at school for wearing the locks freely. And that's I like that. I like that information. Also in the media, I see where this is though this is where I will go off. I'm going to look a rant. And I'm going to say why. So this is the article by Jamaica Observer. This comes from this one came from the bank of the governor. Yeah, the governor of Bank of America. Bank of Jamaica. Bank of Jamaica. Mr. Richard Blige. His article is saying that he's worried about a tight labor market sparks inflation worries. No, this is what that. No, he's saying that no. I sometimes, quite frankly, I'm not a fan of Mr. Richard Blige from day one. When he became governor, I'm not because now, based on this article, what he's saying in the article is that he's worried about private sector companies, not public sector. Public sector, everybody get them increase and then get them one, we call it review and all that. What he's saying is that private sector, he said if the private sector give enormous increases in wages, then it could create an inflation effect. Now, let me put it clear again what he's saying. It's a summary. He's saying that he's worried about the labor market sparking inflation word in terms of private sector companies giving increases and huge increases. He said if they give them 5, 6, 7%, then it might not even affect inflation. That's what he said in the article, in a sense. Now, this is what I'm going to ask. This is what I want to say. Mr. Richard, what's his name? The governor, Blige. Richard Blige, what right do you have? Yes, what right do you have to make that formal suggestion? Your job not to make, your job as Bank of Governor is to make sure you contain inflation within a government target of 4-6%. So whatever way you have to use to make sure you meet the target, you stay within that. That's your job and your team at Bank of Jamaica. Your job is not to try to influence, the labor market. That's not your job. I keep it real. That's not your job. When you make these statements, Mr. Richard Blige, or whatever your name is, I'm mispronouncing your name, you got to understand whatever comes out of your mouth, the private sector organization or companies will use it to not give the warranted increases to the people who work for them. Your job is not to influence the private sector to give minimal increases. Your job again, Mr. Blige, is to make sure you keep the inflation target between 4 to 6. When you make statements like this, Mr. Blige, as the governor of Bank of Jamaica governor, it only spiraled to the companies, private sector companies, and therefore use your argument not to warrant increases to the deserved employees who have worked their asses off to make that private company successful. So therefore, your statement, Mr. Blige, is politically incorrect. It's very politicizing on behalf of the government. I say that because when you do that, it's quite clear you are playing politics and you're being very hypocritical of the situation. Very hypocritical. As I said, sometimes, and then the question I'm going to ask, why didn't he say that when the MPs get the massive increase? Why didn't he say that 6 months before the increase review came out? Why? Why no wage increase in the private sector going to affect inflation? Why you now decide to make a comment about that, Mr. Bai? It's quite clear. You're politicizing the issue. You're trying to deny the private sector people reasonable increase. I'm not talking about big increase 100% like the public sector. We got a review, bro. I'm just saying, with this statement alone, Mr. Byers, you have no politicized it. You're working for the government of Jamaica. And I'm going to say he has stepped out of his boundaries. And he'll stand them lane. You think that will make sure he manage the affairs in terms of inflation rate, making sure that the foreign exchange remains stable. His comments now, I'm guaranteed that a lot of the private sector companies are going to use it to not give the workers reasonable wage increases. And I'm being honest with that. I'm not going to go on it. Mr. Byers has now politically put himself in an unfavorable position when he made this statement. Some people might say, "Yo, man, free with that." I agree, free with that. Make a comment, him free. His choice to mention him. But he's not a right to mention about labor market wage because I talk about increase. No, it's still tight. Let the private sector dictate what they want to give their people. Let the private sector look at their books, their library income statement, look at the profitability, and let them decide what increase can they give their people. You can't, which I come tell the people, say, you can't ever get 6-7%, it's fine, but if you go more than that, it create inflation. Come on. You know, people work hard for some person to come to make that company profitable, and you want to try to dictate, I don't know, dictate. You say influence the private sector giving increases. What increase they can give? You want to give them loan when people might do them 15%. You want to pay them 7% because you might be. Come on. So Richard Byers, you have done become political machinery for the government of Jamaica. I don't mix words up. I don't mix words. It's just the reality with this statement. He's no politicized. I mean, he has become a political advocate and machine. MP them get about 200% and more, 200% increase. When we said that before, them get them increase. I tell you, I didn't want to go no further. I leave that here. So that's my rant again, Mr. Richard Byers as the governor of Jamaica. He never get involved in them situation. He never leave it alone. I just want to talk about some things that we're going to go to sports because time is running out. It's 9:09. Yeah. I just want to talk about sports. Track and field right now, World Championship is going on. And that hold on there. Before I forget, Gwan, where are you? Gwan, man, you, where are you? Mr. Gwan, my Spurs gave your team 2 pieces and no fries. Gwan, come on, Gwan, show your face. Harry's gone, but make sure you man you 2 pieces, Gwan. The great Spurs gave you 2 pieces on Saturday. Yeah, man, big victory. Anyway, getting back to the World Championship. Just want to talk about it so far. The championship has been very exciting and interesting to see some lovely races. From 800, 1500, 400 meter hurdles, the 110 hurdles, all those things I've admired. I've been watching, and with this, the sports of track and field has changed in terms of the meaning. And what the meaning is that if you're a track and field right now, you have to be a person. You have to look at personality, yeah. Because all athletes now are seen as one big family. If me beat you tomorrow, we say, yo, we'll run your victory. And and when people defeat a person and all that in races and become a little more of a little nice show, some athletes do the show boating. Yeah, you don't want someone to run alone and run around, but you can show boating going, but it's not excessive. And it shows that, and the fans are being, the fans are all enjoying it there in Budapest. Yeah, the fans are still being full, and at least are now realizing that yes, we are competitors, but at the end of the day, we're human beings, and we gotta share the joy and spirits of each of our success at times. And to move on to the 100-meter, I was so happy. Well, I would say, in terms of the success, the 100-meter women, I'm talking about, and I see where Shakara Richardson, she won the 100-meter, beating Sharika and Shelly Ann Fraser. They showed after the race, they showed a lot of we could say respect and love for each other. And there was one who was Shelly cover more and said, boy, a long time in the USA now we don't 100-meter. And Shakira said, because you, that's why we don't hit it. And they were laughing. And so we took selfie. And this was a thing that it just warmed my heart. Not it warmed me. One time it used to be like rivalry US versus Jamaica. When you race the woman and US go on one side, them celebrate the fans, and Jamaica go fell with the fans. But no, Shelly and they are all now realize, and at least I realize that this is one from the village. And me I can prepare, you prepare. If me beat you, we can show love, see we keep moving and we celebrate. And that's what it is. And it's a good look. Very good look. Yeah, man, very good look. Very good look. And that's what I love. Yeah, it's a very good look. When you see athletes come around and they meet up each other, and it's nice. It's nice to see that athletes can cooperate with each other having fun. And that's what I want to see at the championship. Hopefully you guys can tune. I think it starts at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning. So check it out wherever you are around the world. Check it out. It's good. One impression, the next person I'm impressed with is this guy, Watson. Yes, Watson. He's the 400 meters. So he run his race, and trust me, Watson, I think. Yeah, the 400 meter guy. He made sure that, he qualified for the finals. Yeah, he qualified for the finals. And I'm happy for him, And there are performances. The only thing we'll talk before we move on, we'll talk about the one of them. I think that Sharika time was very slow. Shakara won the race in 10.65. We all agree that if you're going to win the race, you have to be able to run at least on a 10.6. Because Shakiri, she run what, third or fourth in the semifinals. Sharika, I believe that was that Sharika run what, 10 points. I think it was 10.9. I think it was 10.72. 10.77 in the semifinals. She came back in the final on 10.772. Yeah, Sharika. And what's her name? Shakari. She went with 10.65. My thing is this, that at least gotta understand. I'm not sure why. It's not more about. I mean, from my perspective, I give my perspective. My thing is that you're not running against athletes no more. You might say I sound crazy. Yeah, you're not running against athletes no more. You're running against the clock. Yes. Athletes, you're running against the clock. So therefore, your training methodology must be geared toward running against the clock. That means, argument say, if Rocky Pocket time is 10.565 or 60 the 100 meters, Your objective as an athlete running rounds is to reach a 10.60. Winning, from my perspective, is not, winning is there, but it's run against that clock. So whenever you run, your time will guarantee you some level of success, maybe a gold medal. And I think that's where Sharika went wrong, because she didn't go on a sub 10.7. She didn't go no time on the below. I think it was the whole first run was here. She run sub 10.670, less than 10.70. And the final showed the result was 10.65 with Shakira winning. And in closing, I must congratulate Shakira. She has changed her whole demeanor, personality. She has now brought a new level of professionalism in her career. You know, they call her Weedy. Jamaica's a Weedy, you know. Weedy. But, I like her. I like her because, once again, she has changed her demeanor and be more humble, be more respectful, put in her work. So she deserves one of the meet. I'm not a girl or the thing. She deserves the victory. And when she ran on lane 9 was also awesome race. Run on lane. Okay, now you run for lane 9 as a special athlete too. Although I say that you can't run for any lane, but you run for lane 9, you are the body now watching, you have to just run. You know, no time to look to your left or right. But Sheree can, what's the name? They can look left or right or whatever. They can do that. But I Shelly. But the thing about Shakira race, she came from lane 9 and won with 10.6. So I will give her a props for that. And I wish her all the best and success. Yeah, and she's a humble girl now. She has realized her mistake. Everybody trying to make mistakes, and we're trying to make our changes and make our life better. And that's what I like about her so much. And I wish her all success. Me now want to be the more Jamaican. More, give the one medal. I'm glad for her. But Sharika, Shelley, Elaine, and company have to step up them game. And I hope that the relay team will bring some success to Jamaica in the 4x1. Because we have Shelley, we have Sharika, we're going to have Elaine on that leg and all that. So I don't know when it started. So hopefully the team will be successful in the relay. I'm looking forward to and see we can beat the America and them. But let's wait and see what will happen. It's now 9:18. I got 2 minutes to go. My Facebook family and YouTubers. We have discussed a lot. Tonight, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed the program. But for the last 2 minutes, I just want to talk about a topic I want to talk about quickly. 2 minutes. Hope I can get through it in 2 minutes because there's one. 1 minute. This Jamaica tourism. Yeah, this article Jamaica tourism, where where the Jamaica tourism, the product of Jamaica tourism has now seen over 2.47 million visitors up to July. And we're talking about hotel stay, talking about ships coming in and all that. And that only argues well for the revenue. Because I think for each visitor comes, they have to pay $35. Yeah, when it comes to the port by cruise ship, by air, whatever they come by. And that's a lot of money, the tourism sector. And I think that's where, the economy has got its boost from. It's gotten a boost from the success of the tourism. Got to give credence to Minister Bartlett and his team. And I think that he's poised to take some form of leadership in the tourism. We could say tourism committee, World Tourism Board, because he has been doing an extremely excellent job. He has provided pension for the plural workers scheme. He has they're providing houses for the tourism workers so they can have somewhere to live and go to work in peace. He has now brought on, he has spread the wealth. And there is a lot of trickle-down effect in the tourism market from farmers to transportation, artisans, and all that. He is building out a tourism industry which can be resilient. He has recovered tremendously from COVID-19. He has provided thousands of employees through the cruise ship for the people. And we got to give Mr. Bartlett credit that a Theme Baby and the sidekick Delana Franklin and Delana Siv Wright, I think Siv Wright is the name. They have done a tremendous job. He has opened up new markets, especially in South America. He is bringing in people from going to the Asian market. From Japan, he's trying to get planes come over. He's looking to go to Europe. I think he might be some market France, or we're going to explore, see if we can bring even a 1 plane, 2 plane to Jamaica tourism. So the tourism in Jamaica now have been a catalyst of economic success on a large for Jamaica. And the thing about it is that, when I read recently that the unemployment rate is keep reducing, and now it seems like they're going to be needing workers. The question begs that maybe, and they're saying that there's got to be a lot more training involved. My thing is that if you're going to get training, we have to make sure that from the basic school up to high school, that every child can do numeric, critical thinking, English, and all that. And a comment was said in my 85 group that they said, Brogan said there are some cracks in the education system, which is quite, that's why you have a high level of crime. There are a lot of cracks in the education system that needs to be fixed so we can have our own people benefit from this tourism boom and other sectors too, because we can talk about other sectors, right? But I think I've exhausted my time. But the thing is this: tourism Jamaica is a major influence in the economic upturn in Jamaica right now, and we shall bring a lot of energy. So I want to congratulate Mr. Edmund Bartlett for his wonderful and stern work. And I know he will continue to look for new markets to bring to Jamaica. And I know that we have people from Asia coming to Jamaica, come party to Montego Bay. We have all kind of things happening. And what they're creating with the entertainment, especially Port Royal connected to the East Coast, St. Thomas, all those areas, I know that they're going to be some new emerging markets in those tourism products in those countries. So with byway and highways building upon the East Coast, going right connecting around, it's going to be some serious new products, hotels and all that when we build around here. So Jamaica population, the Jamaica's island will become the tourist center of the world. It might be now, but maybe in 4 or 5 years, if the government doesn't, if Ed Bartlett remains in office, his party remains in office, can become the tourism epic center for the world, the island of Jamaica. And that's where, you will see where a lot of people will be making crazy money. They might have asked from all over the world to come there and work. So, in closing, my brothers, thank you for joining me for My Perspective, and I hope you have enjoyed this program. And I hope to see you all next week, once again, for My Perspective. Remember, I'm Sean Falcon, your host. And if you have anything, leave a comment, my brothers. It don't go already. We talk and we make sure everything is good. We try to bring information, give our own perspective and time and discuss certain things. So enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy someone's who finish, Yeah, when I come to August. But my brother, try to enjoy someone with yourself and your family. And be safe out there. Be safe. This world is not the regular world anymore. Things have changed from COVID-19. So keep up the good work. Be safe. Enjoy the rest of it. One love. Peace out. I'm Sean. And this is And this is my perspective. Have a wonderful night and see you all next week, Wednesday, for another episode of My Perspective. Good night. Good night.